Welcome in, welcome back. We're the Real Selection Committee. My name's Mike. This is Greg. And we're 3 weeks away from the start of the college football. We're excited about that. We're going to dive into the SEC this week, rank all the teams here. We get to like top five. We'll dive in a little bit deeper. We'll give up some of their who's going to win the conference and even talk about them making it into the playoffs. So how do you feel about this SEC here?
Well, as we've talked in the past, we feel there's 8 or 9 teams that could be bubbled. I'll put them all as bubble teams right now because it's a stacked conference. I don't feel it's as powerful as it once was as opposed to all the other ones, but they still top to bottom are the best. That's why you have 8 or 9 teams that have a chance, but we'll just wait and see how it plays out. For now, we'll go with what we think.
Yeah, right. So one thing I want to say is, hey, thanks for watching. If you can, smash that like button and leave a comment. Say what you think the SEC is, and go back and watch our videos. Please subscribe. It's real easy, so we can do what we enjoy and you can watch what you like. So definitely help us out by hitting that button there for us. And so let's get into this here. Let's start with SEC here. Let's get into the. Let's start with 17 or 16, the 16th ranked team here.
Well, obviously, in the work I've done, the 16th ranked team is still Mississippi State. They ranked 77th overall and 16th in the SEC.
Yeah, I have them as the 16th ranked team. So, yeah, let's go with number 15 here.
Number 15 is Kentucky. They came in at number 55 overall and number 15 in the SEC, so that's that.
Yeah. I have Kentucky also as my number 15. Let's go with number 14.
And number 14 is Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt came in as a number 51 overall in the work I've done and a number 14 in the SEC.
Yeah. Now, Vanderbilt had a good year last year. They kind of beat Alabama and they had a little steam there, but that's where I kind of have them as well. Yeah. So let's go with number 13.
Number 13 is Arkansas, as they finished 48th overall in my work, and number 13 in the SEC.
I have them as my number 13. Now let's go with number 12.
Number 12 is Missouri, and they finished number 32 overall in the work I've done, but they're the 12th in the SEC.
Yeah, I have Missouri there as well. Another team that has potential, but brutal schedules. Yeah. This SEC is hard to, figure out where you want to place these guys. You look at their schedules. But now let's go with number 11.
Number 11 I have is Auburn. They're the number 30 overall team ranked for me, but number 11 in the SEC and a team that looks like could jump higher, but, they'll need help.
Yeah. I have Auburn there as well. They're starting to get a lot of hype and love coming into the start of this season because they have some transfer portal guys there, and they look pretty good at the start of the season.
Well, just to draw off of that, they had the number 8 overall recruiting class to go along with the number 8 transfer portal class. So looks like they're starting to get back to where they should be. But for this year, I think they're still...
Yeah, they're one of my dark horses team in there. But, that's where I have them. Let's go. Now we're at number 10. Let's go with number 10.
Number 10, I have Tennessee. They're number 23 overall in the rankings, but 10th in the SEC.
Yeah, I have Tennessee there as well. This team's kind of a little bit in shambles since Nico went out of town here. That's pretty good, but all the other teams in there I see as being better.
Right. Well, they did replace Nico with a guy named Joey Aguilar, who had a really good career at Appalachian State. So we'll see what he can do. Can he keep him there? I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Let's go with number 9.
Number 9 is Oklahoma. I got them ranked number 22 overall, number 9 in the SEC. This team could definitely move up because their experience level has them higher than that. Very strong, but the schedule could play some havoc with them.
Right. I have them there as well. I think there's a lot of hype on this team coming in. I look at their schedule. Their schedule is brutal.
Yeah.
I just see them having, at least a 4 or 5 loss, lose at least 4 games in this conference here. So it's hard, especially most of those games are going to be inside the SEC.
Yeah.
So that's where they're going to fall down in this standings here.
Yeah, some really good players on this team too. So John Mateer is a quarterback and Jaden Ott is a running back. Will help them out.
Yeah, now that transfer to the quarterback position is Mateer being there. A lot of people are high on this guy. They think that he's going to help propel them. Some people have them inside the top 5 in the ranking in the SEC because he is a really solid quarterback.
And they could be there. We'll just wait and see.
Yeah. Okay, now we're at number 8.
Number 8, I got Texas A&M. They were 21 in the pool for me. They ranked number 8 in the SEC. Another team that things break their way, they can move up, but I don't see them getting into the contention for the conference or the playoffs. So we'll just wait and see what happens with them.
Yeah, I have A&M there as well. Awesome recruiting class, very good team coming in, but I just see that schedule is another thing with them is that it's brutal for them, and I see them losing at least 4 games in this conference, and that's why I have them at 8th because, like I said, they have a win total in Vegas odds is 7.5 games. So that I'll tell you right there. I struggle to put them any higher with that.
The one thing that has some people high on them is they have 20 starter level players across offense and defense. So they do look strong in that regard, but as we've spoke, they always look strong, and they're an 8-4 style team. Is what it is. Proof's in the pudding.
Yeah, they're a team that a lot of people are high on them and want to push them up higher. But like you said, we're looking at the schedule
at
here.
Notre Dame, they play Auburn, they play Florida, they're at LSU, they're at Missouri, they play South Carolina, and at Texas. That's a brutal run. I mean, and they can win some of them, but they're going to have to win some of them if they want to get into the mix.
Right. Well, here's my thing with this team is Marcel Reed is their quarterback coming back. Yep. He's got, started halfway or most of the season last year, put up solid numbers. He's a dual threat type of quarterback. Can he get this thing done? He's a pretty decent quarterback. Running backs, they have some depth there. They got 2 seniors. They're both pretty dang good. Put up about over 650 yards each. Yep. As a starter, their grade is like a B. So they're pretty solid receivers. Their grade is a B. They have a transfer from Stanford coming in, a Mississippi State transfer. So they hit the portal hard to get this team. Offensive line is all starters.
Yeah, they're real good.
So they're going to be solid on the offense. The defense is
solid all through.
Yes. But like you said, you went over their schedule.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Texas A&M's a team we have respect for. But year in, year out, they just don't quite get it done. They're close, but no cigar.
Right.
And that's just where they are. I'd love for them to get in the playoffs.
Right.
But, it's just been tough on them. They have played admirable in the SEC, but, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Is what it is.
So who's the number 7 ranked team?
Well, number 7 ranked team's a team I really don't like. But they were Ole Miss. Ranked number 18 overall in the polls. The work I've done, and they're the number 7 SEC team in the preseason. Their experience level for what I've done is not very high. 54 and a 55, and 7 starter level players on offense, 6 starter level players on defense. Just to me, doesn't sound like a high ranked SEC team. But hey, it's Ole Miss. Got to give them some respect. The national people like them, so. We'll give them the shot. Fairly tough schedule.
Yeah, so their schedule, they got LSU in there. They got Georgia, Oklahoma, Florida. So it's a pretty tough task for Ole Miss to get in there. Yeah. The biggest question is now they had to replace Jackson Dart, who went to the NFL.
Yeah.
Now with Austin Simmons, who's a sophomore 4-star guy.
Sure.
He's got a little bit of playing time in. That's the biggest question mark with Ole Miss. You know, can he get this team right here?
Well, the one thing that might help them, that might have people a little higher on them, they have 7 games where they look to be the favorites in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you know, you name these teams off, and they play Tulane, who's not going to be a joke.
Yeah.
You know, they should beat Tulane, but we got to throw them in there for the fact that they're a solid out of conference opponent. Maybe, but I'm not sold on them.
Yeah.
I think they got a lot of holes.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Lane Kiffin's a good coach, and he's getting kids to come in there, transfer. I think they're a good team, but like you said, as far as 7 seed, that's where I have to place them. I can't put them ahead of anybody else.
No.
Okay, so now we're at number 6 here.
Well, number 6 I don't agree with, but the work I've done early, Florida would be the number 6 team. They rank number 14 in the poll I have. But I think this team moves up. I think they are going to get in the playoffs. I've said that from the start.
Right.
They've got 18 starter-level players across the offense and defense. Solid. The one drawback, as you brought up in the past, is they have a hard schedule. You know, they have the number 2 overall ranked schedule in the work I did.
Yeah.
So that tells you right there. But I still feel they can go 9-3, 10-2, because they're loaded.
Right.
They're loaded.
Yeah. This is Billy Napier's 4th season with Florida here. And like you said, let's just touch on this schedule here. They have, you think South Florida's a good, decent team. They'll struggle with them. They got LSU, Miami, Florida, Texas A&M. Then they hit Georgia, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Florida State. So, like you said, they do have the 2nd overall ranked schedule.
Yes.
So, for them to get through this, that's a gauntlet right there.
I think they can go 9-3 or better.
Yeah.
I think they can be favorites or at least pick them in most of these games. And for the people out there who laughed about South Florida, I mean, because the National has them ranked real low.
Yeah.
Just watch.
Yeah.
That's going to be it. They gave Alabama fits last year. They tend to do that, but I believe Florida is better. But for right now, I got them at number 6 in the SEC.
Yeah. I mean, their biggest thing here is their quarterback, DJ Lagway, who's kind of banged up in this camp going on right now, but he should be fine at the start of the season. They go as far as this guy can carry him. Sure. With that brutal schedule. They're decent at the running backs. They got Jaden Baugh, who's pretty much a sophomore, 3-star. He's pretty much their lead back. Jacoby Jackson is a backup. I mean, they got some depth at the running back position. They're graded at like an A- at the running back position. Wide receivers, they got this guy, this Eugene Wilson is looking like a stud coming in. He's definitely a guy to watch. They got a transfer, this Michael Sturgevant from UCLA. He's going to be a stud. He's looking really good. And it's Dallas Wilson, who is a true freshman, 5-star, who lit it up in their spring game. I mean, this team has got some talent. So it is conceivable that they rip off some wins and can contend in the SEC as well as making it into the playoffs. Like you said, you have them making it into the playoffs.
I do because they finished good last year. They were competitive in most of their games last year.
Yes.
Last year they were a huge underdog to Miami and Florida. This year they're not a huge underdog to them.
Yeah.
They might even be a favorite against them.
Yeah.
But, hey, and Florida has a number 7 overall recruiting class, so they might be getting a little bit back to where they were.
So we're getting
look out.
Yeah, so offensive line is stacked too. They grade really well at the offensive line. They're an A grade. Defense, like you said, is solid. They got a couple studs, like Tyreek Sapp's a stud. So this team is going to be a contender as far as the playoffs. SEC, I don't know if they can get into that conference championship game, but they could.
Well, the one thing that we talked about with them, they have the returning quarterback that is good.
Yes. Yes.
Not just the returning quarterback. He's solid, real good. And teams like Alabama and Ole Miss
starting a new
and
quarterback.
Georgia are all starting new quarterbacks.
Yes.
And, I'd rather go with the experience.
Right.
So
right.
we'll see.
Yeah. So let's go with number 6.
Number 5.
Or number 5. Yes, number 5.
Well,
let's
number
go to number 5.
Is the other team I'm very high on. That's not what everybody else is, and that's South Carolina. I got them as the number 10 overall ranked team and the number 5 ranked team in the SEC. They got Lenora Sellers, who's an absolute stud at quarterback. They got a pretty good offense across the board. Their defense is solid. They do have a rough schedule as well, but I think they can find their way through it. Here again, you got the quarterback and a good offense. So I think they're just as good and have just as good a shot as anybody else in the SEC. Just the way it is.
Yeah. Let's build off of last year where they were one of the hottest teams that everybody thought that they were going to make it into the playoffs. This team has got another, this is that brutal SEC schedule. They got a tough schedule. Let's look at that. They opened up with Virginia Tech.
Yep.
They got Missouri, who's a team that you got to watch out for. Plus, they got Vanderbilt on there, who little scrappy. But the meat of their schedule is after their bye week, week 7. They got LSU, Oklahoma, Alabama, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and Clemson.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that is overall strength of schedule is ranked 6th.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to battle to get up in there
Sure.
to make a play at this SEC
They
conference.
had the same thing last year too, and didn't have the team as far as I'm concerned last year, and they were right there. So that's kind of the reason I'm so high on them. And some of them teams like Ole Miss are a little down, not quite as good as they were last year. Doesn't mean that Ole Miss can't beat them, but I like South Carolina because I think they're experienced. They were so hot last year, you didn't want to play them. I think they carry that into the season this year. That's why I got them in the playoffs with Florida as well.
Wow. Yeah. For me, the Lenore Sellers that you're talking about here, this guy is an absolute stud. I mean, they go as far as he carries this team, just like Lagway. So running back depth, they have Rashu Faison, who is a transfer from Utah State. He looks like he's going to be a stud. Their running back position grades is a B+. Depth is an A. So this team has got some depth.
Yeah.
Plus, with the running ability, with Lenora Sellers, this team is hard to slow down on that running game.
Yeah.
Receivers, they got some depth there. They're graded as a B-. Nick Harbor's their stud. He's their outside guy. He's a junior, 5-star, 6'5". This kid's big. This kid is an absolute stud. I think he's going to be their highlight for their offense, throwing down the field. Offensive line, solid. They're a B+. Defense is another thing. They got a pretty good, solid defense.
Solid. And to build off of that, you were talking about some of the recruits. Number 18 overall recruiting class.
Yes.
Okay. Pretty darn good. Number 15 transfer portal.
Right.
So there's depth that's coming in that might not even have been listed where I seen. This team is going to be tough, folks.
Yeah.
Like I say, proof's in the pudding.
So South Carolina, as far as the win total, they have them at 7.5. So
I don't like that. I think that's wrong. I get it. They're going off the schedule, and they're kind of saying you're going to win half these tough games and lose half of them. But
right.
Here again in the SEC, you can't go chalk. And a lot of that is they're going to look, you're going to lose to Alabama, you're going to lose to Georgia. I think they beat them both. That's just me.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely if they win those games, that puts them in the hunt. If they, if they beat Alabama, LSU, those are the big dogs in the SEC. If they end up beating them, which they're capable of with that solid of a team. So 5, I have them as make outside bubble as far as the playoffs.
Sure.
SEC championship game, I don't have them in that, but a great team and they could rip off some wins here and do well. So
as you see, we're getting into these teams. That's why I call them all bubble teams.
Yeah.
So
this SEC's tough. I'm telling you, it's hard.
They're stacked.
So let's go with the number 4 team.
Well, the number 4 team is Alabama. They're number 9 overall in the work I've done. And I will say this. If this team doesn't lose focus and they play to what their roster is, I think they're the best team in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't show that last year.
Right.
Okay. And I want to see if this team focuses, I may move them up to number 1 in the conference. Mm-hmm. But I just got a feeling that they're going to be maybe better last year focused, but maybe not focused enough. I have them as the team in the SEC that will get in if they get a 4th spot. Now, I got them under South Carolina, Florida, and Texas, but they're that next team to me. Mm-hmm. Even though there's 2 other teams ranked ahead of them, I think Bama's better than both them other teams. I just don't think Bama's focus was good last year. They got a solid offense, 63.5, which is outstanding. That with a quarterback that's new. Mm-hmm. So imagine, if Ty Simpson comes in there and plays like he should, look out. They got a solid defense as well. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm sure you'll touch more on both of that. But that's just what I see.
Right. I have them higher than that, but we'll stick at talking about them where we're at right now. Brutal schedule. They open the season up with Florida State. Mm-hmm. We talked about that. We think they'll win that game. Sure. They got Wisconsin, Georgia, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Tennessee, South Carolina, LSU, Oklahoma, and Auburn, who we think is a little better team, kind of a dark horse in the conference. Yeah, the question here is, can Alabama figure out this quarterback position to get him back in it? Because we know the defense is solid. A stout defensive line is what Alabama is. They always are tough up front on the defensive side. Quarterback, we're thinking Ty Simpson's going to start the season, but they have some studs behind that in that quarterback. They got Austin Mack, who's a huge kid, a 4-star kind of guy, tall. He's 6'6", so he's an athletic kid. Oh, yeah. And then they got their true freshman coming in. Keelan Russell is the highest recruited kid that Alabama's had come in. Yeah. So they have some talent at the quarterback position. They just got to get the right person in there. Yeah. Running backs, they're like a B grade as far as they got Jam Miller, who looks like to be their starter, their lead. He played 13 games, had just around 700 rush yards. Alabama's built on this rushing game here. So they'll have to rely on these backs a little more than last year.
And I think they'll be fine. They got the horses up front. Their offense is loaded.
Yes.
The defense is loaded. It just, to me, focus would be the problem.
Yeah, and then to me, I think their receivers. I mean, their receivers are just silly right now. With Ryan Williams is a superstar, kind of in the shadow of Jeremiah Smith, but he's also a great receiver.
Right there with him.
He's right there. He's right there. You're right. They had Isaac Horton's a decent guy. Jermaine Bernard's another good receiver. I mean, this team's got some studs all the way through their team. Offensive line is ranked in the top 5 in the nation, or close in the nation. Yeah. They have a stud. They got Caden Proctor, who's going into the NFL, early draft pick. They got a transfer on that whole offensive line is going to be a lot better this year.
Alabama always has them guys that'll knock your teeth out.
Yeah.
That's, part of the reason why they don't fall very far.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm a little higher on Alabama. I have them in the championship game as far as the SEC, and I have them making the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I see this team as unlimited upside.
Sure, I agree with that, and I ain't going to fault you for looking at it that way. I want to see if they lose focus, because there's several games on that schedule. If they lose focus, they're going home with an L. One of them being that Auburn game.
Yeah.
Because Auburn is getting better, and that's a rivalry game.
Yeah,
and Auburn could do to them what Michigan did to Ohio State last year.
Right.
So you better not lose focus in any of them games.
So now we got number 3.
Number 3 as assists going into the preseason is LSU. They got number 7 overall. They got number 3 SEC. Their offense isn't bad, but they do have the stud quarterback,
Garrett Nussmeier.
And that will make up for any of the somewhat holes or inexperience that they have on offense. Defense is outstanding. So if they can stay close, which I believe the defense will hold them close, they have a shot at winning every game. They got a hard schedule as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're starting off with Clemson, which I think Clemson's better than them. It would be a pick'em game for all intents and purposes, but I think Clemson will beat them.
Right.
So, they might start 0-1, and they could beat Clemson. We'll just have to wait and see. You can't stumble. I mean, they play a lot of the heavy hitters in the SEC. Stumble and you're done. I don't like Brian Kelly as a coach in the big game. He has not proven he's a good coach. Can't say he's not a good coach, but he struggles in the big game.
Yeah.
And LSU is a team. Everybody says every year, oh well, they're top 10, they're this and that. They roll out to 6-0, 6-1, and then it might not happen this year.
Yeah.
Maybe they turn the corner.
Right.
I got them as a team that could get in. I just don't have them there.
Yeah, I have them flip-flop with Alabama. I have LSU as 4 and Bama as 3.
Sure.
But LSU, Brian Kelly, this is his make-or-break season, I kind of think. This guy is a great coach as far as getting talent in there, come to the teams. He's been a successful guy where he's gone, but he hasn't won the big games.
Yeah.
So this is the year to test all that. So like you said, their schedule, they start with Clemson. And Clemson's favored because they're traveling to Clemson in that game. And then they got Florida.
Yeah.
And they got Ole Miss. So they better start out the gates fast.
Yeah.
And South Carolina, Texas A&M, Alabama, and Oklahoma they finished the season up with. So they got some heavy hitters on that schedule here. But they need to get going. One thing that will help them out is they got, I think, one of the best quarterbacks in college football, Garrett Nussmeier, who is a stud, going to be drafted into the NFL next year. As far as their running backs, they're kind of a B rate. They got Caden Durham, who's probably their lead back. He's a sophomore 4-star. He had played 12 games, 750 rush yards, 6 touchdowns. I think he's going to be their primary back. They got Caleb Jackson's another guy. So running back position is decent. The receivers is where I think they're really good. Yeah. They're a B starters and then an A plus in their depth. They got Aaron Anderson and Boren Brown as a transfer from Kentucky. They got Nick Anderson there. Xavier Thomas. So this team is loaded at the receiver position, which is great because you got a really good quarterback. You need that depth. Offensive line grades pretty well. They got a really good offensive line. Defense is a solid defense. You had them grading really well. Yeah. They got a lot of transfers on this defensive side. They got a ton of transfers.
Yeah. Defensive
backs are good. So this team here, to me, the question is, can Brian Kelly get the big game win here? That's the question.
I wouldn't bet on it, but by the same token, the players might keep them around.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see.
So I have them as a team that's another bubble team.
Yeah.
Another bubble team. If someone slips up, they can jump into the playoffs. I don't have them contending in the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
But I think they're a great team and possibility of making playoffs. Right. Number 2 here.
All right. Well, number 2 is a team that, in my view, I'm not sold on, but the work I've put in, they keep showing up. Number 6 overall. Number 2 is Georgia. The reason I'm not high on them is they have a lot of holes. A lot of replacement. Now, granted, it's Georgia. Granted, they reload. But, I mean, being that we don't know Georgia like Georgia fans, we cannot see if some of their guys that are stepping in played 6, 7, 8 games. where I looked, did not show that. Okay. So, they're 55 on offense, 54.5 on defense, which is just starter levels across the board in offense, and not even starter level across the board in defense. You're in the toughest conference in college football. Gunnar Stockton's going to be their starting quarterback, we think, and he has guts and grit, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, he played 2 games that we've seen last year where he actually helped them beat Texas. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he did anything in the playoff game that caused them to lose.
Right.
Okay, they just ran into a better team. So we'll see what Gunnar Stockton could be an X factor on their season. Mm-hmm. I just don't have them with a whole lot of great talent anywhere. Mm-hmm. They do have 7 starter level players on offense and 6 starter level players on defense. What that tells you is there's a lot of holes. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
Yeah. Kirby Smart, this is a Kirby Smart team, so he always gets them pumped and ready to play. But looking at their schedule, they got Tennessee, Alabama, Auburn, Ole Miss, Florida, Texas, and they finished with Georgia Tech. We've seen how that game ended up. They almost lost that game in all the overtimes. So they're going to have to navigate through this another tough schedule here to stay there. So the quarterback position, like you said, is Gunnar Stockton, who's going to start the season. Now, if he falters or gets injured or something like that, they got a redshirt freshman, Ryan Puglisi. Yeah. Is a talented kid. A lot of people are excited about him, but he's the future. He's not the present right now. Right. Running back position, Nate Frazier is going to be their lead guy. He played 13 games, rushed for 600 and almost 700 yards. Catches the ball out of the backfield. Josh McCray, who's a transfer from Illinois, who was a good back there. Yeah. So they got a little depth at the running back position. Now here, the receiver position, they hit the transfer portal and they got a bunch of guys coming in to, like you said, they had to go elsewhere to bring in to make this team a lot better. Noah Thomas is a transfer from Texas A&M. Zachariah Branch came from USC. They really like this guy. He's a speedy guy, plays a slot position. Dylan Bell is there. Now, they had kind of a little bit of trouble holding on to the ball last year. Yeah. We'll see if they can get better at that this year. They're going to have to contend here to be number 2. Defense is where their bread and butter is. This is where they're pretty good. I think they're a great team. Linebackers are their best thing. They're an A- grade at the linebacker position. D-line is a B+ grade. DBs is another B+. So another typical Georgia team. Yeah, well. But the X factor, like you said on this, is Gunnar Stockton, that quarterback position, how well they navigate through this season.
Well, I'll say this, okay? A number 2 overall recruiting class and a number 21 transfer portal means they brought in depth.
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to help them. I also think when I look at the schedule, I think Tennessee's down. I think they're better than Tennessee. I think they're better than Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. So there's 2 of the games that you could look at and say, well, they might lose. I don't think they lose those 2.
No.
But, you're looking at Bama and Florida and Texas and hey, even Auburn. Mm-hmm. Depending on when that game is in the season. Like I say, there's a lot of holes on Georgia. So we'll wait and see. Mm-hmm. It is Georgia. So they're gonna have players. Before it sounds like I'm saying they're garbage, I'm not saying they're garbage. I just don't see them holding that high. I see them falling back. Mm-hmm.
So I have them not in the championship game, but I have them in the playoffs. Yeah. For the SEC championship game, I have Alabama and the other team we're going to talk about here in a second. But Georgia is gonna. We'll see how they manage with the quarterback position. That's going to be their thing. All right, so now let's go into number 1. I think everybody pretty much will know who the number 1 team, seeded team is. For you, it's probably Texas, right?
I got Texas there, and a lot of it's because of the work others have done and what others think. I also think Texas is going to be very, very strong. I couldn't give Arch Manning a starter grade, but he's probably above a starter level talent.
Right.
So their defense is strong.
Mm-hmm.
So, Texas is going to hold you close, and if you can't cover their wide receivers, which they're pretty good at wide receiver, you're going to have trouble. Fairly tough schedule. Could hurt them depending on how they start. At Ohio State, at Florida, neutral site to Oklahoma, at Georgia, Texas A&M. So there's not a lot of heavy hitters listed. There's a lot of second tier programs in the SEC on their schedule,
right?
Which they should win. But you're at Ohio State, at Florida, at Georgia,
right? Yeah.
And Georgia was a team, even though I'm a little down on them, they had their number last year. Mm-hmm. Will that continue? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Texas, while we have number one overall, number one in the SEC, if they goof around, they could fall out altogether.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you mentioned, their toughest games are on the road. Ohio State, they play Florida on the road, and they play Georgia on the road. I don't want to say it's the soft schedule, but as far as some of those other teams, they got a lighter schedule.
It is compared to the other teams.
They got A&M at home. That's a big rival game there. Arch Manning, right? He's got a couple games under his belt here, and he's, we'll see how he performs. He's got a lot of hype. Can he live up to that hype? We'll see.
It's a lot of pressure, but I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. Running back position for Texas is outstanding. They got Travian Wisner, who is a stud, 1,000-yard rusher. And he gets 44 receptions. So, this guy can do it all.
Top back.
Yeah. Backup C.J. Baxter, I'm kind of mixed on that and saying he might come back, and he's kind of struggling. So, we'll see. Talented kid. He's a 5-star. He's their highest rated running back. So if he gets in the mix, they'll be fine there. Receiver position's pretty dang good. Ryan Wingo's good. DeAndre Moore Jr. is good. This Emmett Mosley's a transfer from Stanford. He's going to be good. So they have weapons for Arch to get the ball around. So this team is going to be good. Offensive line is pretty solid. They got a couple. They have to replace a couple because some of them went to the pros here. But they're going to be a decent, solid offensive line.
They do have some offensive linemen coming in that are new starters. And admittedly, we don't know a whole lot about them. Mm-hmm. They're probably 4 or 5-star guys, so they'll probably be fine.
Yeah.
But on the outside looking in, it looks like the offensive line could struggle early.
Yes.
So we'll just wait and see how that plays out. Texas, I feel they can win as easy as anybody else. I think they're going to win the SEC. Mm-hmm. I've got them in the SEC championship game. I've got them in the playoffs. But the one thing I will say, with a little bit of uncertainty on the offense, if they screw around, if they have a mental block with Georgia and dump that game, if they dump the game in Ohio State, game on. Things could turn ugly in a hurry, you know what I mean? So,
right.
Because you're at Florida. You're at.
Yeah. Yeah. Defense, like you said, defensive line's good. Colin Simmons is a superstar. He's a stud going to the NFL here. Transfer Murad Watson coming from Syracuse. They got a bunch of transfers on this D line here.
Yeah.
Hero Kanu come from Ohio State, who's gonna, they got some depth. Their depth is good on a D line. Linebackers, we already know about them. They're stud. Yep. Anthony Hill Jr. is a stud.
Yeah.
Defensive backfield, they're ranked in the nation, top 5 in the nation. They got a good defensive backfield. So this team has all the tools that they need. It's all going to rely on, can they win those road games, because their challenges are on the road. And can Arch Manning live up to the hype here? That's the question mark, but Texas.
And one thing that helps when we say they have a little bit of uncertainty on offense, number 1 overall recruiting class, number 25 transfer portal. So Texas has talent.
Mm-hmm.
We know they have talent. Not disrespecting them at all. They are going to factor in some fashion in a national title.
Yeah.
We'll see. Final Four. Maybe they reach it. Maybe they do reach that game again. We'll just wait and see.
Yeah, the last 2 years they've been there,
They've been
right?
on the cusp.
Yeah.
They've been
So,
on the cusp.
yeah, I have them in the SEC championship
Yeah.
game against Alabama. I have them in the playoffs, and they made the Final Four last year in the playoffs. I think based on their seeding, they'll probably wind up into that Final Four.
Yeah.
Unless, like you said, those road games are a test.
Well, if they fall to the third team in the SEC, then they're going to have a schedule they're going to have to play a thing like Ohio State.
Yeah, they had to come up from the bottom. Yeah.
And not saying they can't because we saw the Buckeyes.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
that's not the road we want to take. You want to stay in the good graces. Not that there's an easy game at all in the playoffs, but
Right.
you
Yeah.
definitely don't want to be the 8 or 9 seed.
Yeah.
Tough.
Yeah, this SEC, man, it's hard. The schedules are crazy when you look at
Other
who
than-
they play in their non-conference games. I mean, they schedule some of those teams have some tough schedules.
A lot of it, and I'm going to say this, I think some of the SEC teams, like the bottom ones, ranked 48, 51, please. You're overranking them.
Mm-hmm.
But, that being said, the SEC is the strongest conference, top to bottom. They have the most teams in the conference that could possibly make the playoffs with 8 or 9 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see how it goes. I mean,
Yeah.
we have different teams making it,
Yeah.
and we agree on Texas.
Yeah.
And we kind of agree on a couple bubble teams.
Mm-hmm.
That I have one, you have, but we'll see.
Yeah.
It'll be a great season.
Yeah.
That's one thing. The SEC, they deliver great football, and they're going to beat each other up.
Right.
We know that too.
Right. I'm really curious to see how the Florida and the South Carolina that you're high on does. I'm sticking with the old heads, Alabama and Georgia, based on talent. But hey, this was fun.
It's going to be a combination of those teams.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it'll be one of yours, one of mine with Texas. We'll just wait and see. It's going to be great.
Right, yeah. It's going to be fun. Looking forward to the season to start. That's going to wrap it up for us here. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let us know how you see it playing out. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Peace.